The Galactic Council's emergency session had never seen such tension. Representatives from 47 species sat in their bio-suited chambers, their various forms of communication creating a cacophony of clicks, hums, and telepathic static. At the center of the debate stood two humans, Commander David Chen and Admiral Emma Rodriguez, their simple cloth uniforms a stark contrast to the elaborate exoskeletons and energy fields surrounding them. "The motion before us is unprecedented," announced High Arbiter Zixathala, her crystalline form pulsing with agitated light. "Never in the 3,000 years of the Galactic Council has a species, military doctrine been deemed too dangerous for galactic warfare." David exchanged a glance with Emma. They had expected this day would come, but not so soon after humanity's first major fleet engagement. The Battle of Kepler 442b had lasted only 6 hours, yet its aftermath would reshape interstellar politics forever. "The human WarArmda concept violates every known convention of civilized combat," continued the Vorthon representative, his tentacles writhing with obvious distress. "Their vessels don't just fight, they transform the very nature of space itself." Emma stepped forward, her voice steady despite the weight of 47 alien gazes upon her. "Honored Council, humanity developed the WarArmda out of necessity. When the hegemony invaded our colonies, we had to adapt or face extinction." "Adapt?" The insectoid Kethri delegate's mandibles clicked rapidly. "You call weaponizing stellar mechanics adaptation? Your ships don't merely fire projectiles, they reorganize local spacetime to create tactical advantages." David couldn't help but feel a surge of pride despite the accusations. The WarArmda had been humanity's answer to being the youngest and physically weakest species in known space. While other races possessed superior technology, psychic abilities, or natural weapons, humans had something else entirely, an almost pathological refusal to accept limitations. The first WarArmda ships had been crude affairs, converted mining vessels equipped with gravity manipulation drives originally designed for asteroid harvesting. But human engineers, faced with annihilation, had pushed those systems far beyond their intended parameters. They discovered that by synchronizing the gravitational fields of multiple vessels, they could create localized space-time distortions. "The Kepler engagement demonstrates the danger," declared the ethereal Lumina representative, her light form flickering with concern. "Observe the tactical recordings." The chamber's central display activated, showing the battle from multiple angles. The hegemony's invasion fleet, 600 vessels strong, had expected an easy victory against humanity's meager 30-ship defense force. They had not expected those 30 ships to link their gravity drives and literally fold space around the enemy formation. Emma watched the replay with professional interest. The human ships had formed a perfect sphere around the hegemony fleet, their synchronized gravity fields creating what the engineers called a tactical singularity, a region where the normal rules of physics became suggestions rather than laws. Enemy weapons fire curved back on itself. Escape vectors folded into impossible geometries. The hegemony's superior numbers became irrelevant when space itself became humanity's weapon. "The enemy fleet was not destroyed," David pointed out to the council. "They were disabled and captured with minimal casualties on both sides." "That's precisely the problem." The hegemony's own representative, a hulking Krex warrior, slammed his forearms against his chamber's barriers. "War should be honorable, combat between equals. Your species weaponizes the universe itself." The accusation hung in the chamber's recycled atmosphere. Emma understood their fear. For millennia, galactic warfare had followed predictable patterns. Ship fought ship, technology against technology, strength against strength. Humanity had changed that by refusing to play by established rules. The WarArmda doctrine wasn't just about gravity manipulation, though that was its most visible aspect. Human ships carried crews trained in what they called fluid tactics, the ability to instantly reconfigure their vessel's functions based on battlefield conditions. A destroyer could become a sensor array. A battleship could transform into a mobile space dock, and entire fleets could merge their systems to create capabilities that exceeded the sum of their parts. "The motion on the floor," High Arbiter Zixathala continued, "is to classify human WarArmda tactics as weapons of mass destruction, thereby banning their use in all galactic conflicts." David felt the historical weight of the moment. Humanity had clawed its way from a single world to membership in the Galactic Council, in less than 2 centuries. They had survived first contact, colonial wars, and integration into galactic society. Now they faced their greatest challenge, being too successful at warfare. Honored Arbiter, Emma addressed the Council with careful formality. Humanity accepts the Council's concerns. We propose a compromise. The chamber fell silent except for the hum of life support systems. We will limit WarArmda deployment to defensive operations only, she continued. Our fleets will only use full tactical integration when protecting human colonies or defending Council worlds from external threats. And if humanity faces extinction again? Asked the Zephyrian representative, her gossamer form undulating with curiosity. David smiled grimly. Then the ban becomes irrelevant. No species legislates itself into oblivion. The vote was close. 24 in favor of the ban, 22 against, with 1 abstention. Humanity's WarArmda was officially classified as a prohibited weapon system, the first time in galactic history that a military doctrine itself had been banned. As they left the chamber, Emma turned to David. Do you think they know? Know what? That the WarArmda was just our first attempt at space warfare. Wait until they see what we develop when we have real time to think about it. David grinned. Throughout human history, being told something was impossible had never stopped them. It had only made them more creative. The galaxy had just learned what humanity was capable of when they had 6 months to prepare for war. He wondered what they would think of what humans could do with 6 years or 6 decades of preparation. The ban would hold for now. But somewhere in human space, engineers were already sketching designs that would make the WarArmda look like a child's toy. After all, humanity had always been best at finding new ways to break the rules others thought were unbreakable. The galaxy would never be quite the same.